Leaked DHS memo, writes The Hill, shows Obama might circumvent DAPA injunction. Please stay with me and listen to this. A newly leaked internal DHS, Department of Homeland Security, memorandum produced for an off-the-record agency conclave reveals the Obama administration is actively planning to circumvent a federal court injunction that suspended part of last November's deferred-based amnesty initiative. The document, apparently prepared as follow-up from a DHS regulations retreat last summer, appears sure to reignite concerns in Congress as well as federal judges in the Fifth Circuit. The administration has already been criticized from the bench for handing out work permits to hundreds of thousands of deferred action beneficiaries in direct violation of a district court's order, with the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals deciding any day now whether to deny the administration's request to reverse the injunction. The public leak has come at a critical juncture for U.S. enforcement policy. All right, let me tell you something. As the president of one of the most important and preeminent conservative legal foundations in this country, Landmark Legal Foundation, I will tell you now that if the president of the United States does this, no, we don't have the power to impeach and remove. We don't have the standing to do anything. But I will direct my lawyers to draw up the papers. Yes, I will. If Obama directs this, to have him lose his law license. I will insist that we will file an ethics complaint against him. He can't pretend he doesn't know what's going on. If we have a president of the United States whose administration is going to circumvent the Fifth Circuit knowingly, and we have the evidence right here in part, we would get access to the document, and the document's available, then he needs to know that it affects him directly. Now you might say, yeah, right, Mark. Let me tell you something. It was Landmark that filed the papers with Federal District Court in Arkansas, Little Rock, with Judge Susan Weber Wright that resulted in Obama losing his law license temporarily, but he lost it for 8 years, I believe. I am not kidding. Somebody has to step up. I don't have the power of Congress. I don't have standing in front of federal courts, but this we have the power to do. I'm not doing it unless this is done, and it's done with his knowledge, and you have to assume that he has the knowledge because now it's public. Last June, for 4 months after Texas federal judge Andrew Hannon's order to freeze President's DAPA and expanded DACA programs, DHS's immigration policymakers apparently held a regulations retreat to discuss different options to open market employment authorization document regulatory changes. EAD is the statutory term for work permits. From a memo recording these discussions, we now know that the Obama DHS, and by the way, Jed Johnson is also a lawyer, so he'll be in the dock too, as far as I'm concerned. Rather than pausing to allow the court to assess the constitutionality of its enforcement nullification initiatives, been gearing up to roll out one or more of 4 plans drawn up at the meeting, each one designed to provide EADs to millions of non-immigrants, including those lawfully present, and visa overstayers, crippling the actual employment-based visa system on the federal statute books. Now, you understand, 40% of the people here have lied. They've overstayed their visas. They're supposed to go home. So Obama wants to take care of them, too. That's how lawless and reckless this man is. The ends justifies the means. Every Marxist knows that. The Constitution means crap to these people. Nothing. The internal memo reveals 4 options of varying expansiveness, with option 1 providing EADs to all individuals living in the United States. That is employment authorization documentation, including illegal aliens, visa overstayers, and H-1B guest workers, while option 4 provides EADs only to those on certain unexpired non-immigrant visas. Certain unexpired non-immigrant visas. Giving EAD, again, employment authorization documents, to any of the covered individuals is in direct violation of Congress's Immigration and Nationality Act and works to dramatically subvert our carefully wrought visa system. This is written by Ian Smith, an investigative associate with the Immigration Reform Law Institute. So you see what's taking place here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just appalled as this continues. This man has, year and a half, less, and he's doing more and more and more damage. Now we're going to let drug pushers out of federal prison. Oh, they're nonviolent crimes. Like hell they are. Why do you think people are killing each other in Chicago? Why do you think these gangs are shooting each other? Why do you think? They just want turf? Well, that's part of it. But they want turf to do what? To sell drugs, for God's sakes. Obama's not doing any community any good, particularly poorer communities. Where are all the civil rights leaders? Why aren't they rising up against what's going on in their communities? Why aren't they rising up against illegal immigration? Why aren't they rising up against the release of the drug pushers that have been taken off their corners? Where are they? Where are the phony civil libertarians who pretend that they support the Constitution of the United States? Where are they? They're frauds. That's where they are. Absolute frauds. Now, I lived through Watergate and the Nixon years. It wasn't anything like this, despite what that fat clown Carl Bernstein has to say and all the rest of them. This man makes Richard Nixon look like Mother Teresa. No question about it. What a disgrace.